of Trade and Industry, Private Sector Development, and Presidential Special Initiatives during former President Kufuor's tenure of office. Chomantin served as a trade advisor at the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, where he coordinated the African Trade Policy Center. Chomantin made an attempt at the leadership of the New Patriotic Party in 2007, capturing 32.3% of votes cast. He was first runner-up to Akufo-Addo, who gained 47.96% of votes cast. Chomantin made other attempts at the party's flag bearership in 2010 and 2014, but placed second to Akufo-Addo, who won the primaries. In 2012, Ghana nominated Chomantin for the post of World Trade Organization's Director General to succeed outgoing Director General Pascal Lamy, and his candidature received the backing of the African Union. However, he did not make the shortlist for the final selection process in 2013. Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia is an economist, banker, and Vice President of Ghana. He was a Deputy Governor of the Bank of Ghana until his nomination as Vice Presidential candidate for the New Patriotic Party presidential candidate Nana Akufo-Addo in 2008. He also ran as the Vice Presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party in Ghana's 2012 general elections and was the lead witness for the petitioners in the 2012-2013 presidential election petition, which challenged the declaration of John Mahama as the winner of Ghana's 2012 presidential election. Alhaji Bawumia served under various Ghanaian governments in various capacities, including a member of the Northern Territories Council, the Gold Coast Legislative Assembly, a member of Parliament of the First Republic, Northern Regional Minister, and Ghana Ambassador to the United Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Alhaji Bawumia was in March 1999 awarded the highest national honor, membership of the Order of the Star of Ghana. Mahamudu Bawumia's mother, Hajia Miriama Bawumia, is a native of Basempe in the West Mamprisi district. She was one of the first northern female students to gain admission to Wesley Girls High School, Cape Coast. Born into a large family, Mahamudu Bawumia was the 12th of his father's 18 children and the second of his mother's wife. Mahamudu Bawumia attended the Sakasaka Primary School in Tamale and gained admission to the Tamale Secondary School in 1975. He was president of the Ghana United Nations Students Association in 1981. After graduating from Tamale Secondary School, he went to the United Kingdom where he studied banking and obtained the Chartered Institute of Bankers Diploma. He took a first-class honors degree in economics at Buckingham University in 1987. He then obtained a master's degree in economics at Lincoln College, Oxford, and obtained a PhD in economics at Simon Fraser University, British Columbia, Canada in 1955. His areas of specialization include macroeconomics, international economics, development economics, and monetary policy. He has numerous publications. From 1988 to 1990, Bawumia worked as a lecturer in monetary economics and international finance at the Emil Wolff College of Accountancy in London, England. He also served as an economist at the Research Department of International Monetary Fund in Washington, D.C., USA. Between 1996 and 2000, Bawumia served as an assistant professor of economics at Hankama School of Business, Baylor University, USA, where he also received the Young Researcher Award in 1998. Born on June 16, 1960, and hails from Asin Dompim in the Central Region, Kennedy Ohene Japan is a Ghanaian politician and businessman who represents Asin Central in Parliament for the New Patriotic Party. He was first elected a Member of Parliament in 2000 to the seat of Asin North. He retained his seat in the 2004 and 2008 parliamentary elections. In 2012, he was elected in the new seat of Asin Central and was re-elected in 2016. He also retained his seat in the 2020 general elections. He is currently the chairman of the Parliament's Defence and Interior Committee and an aspirant for the presidential candidate on the ticket of the NPP. He had his secondary education at Adisada College in the Central Region. Kennedy Japan still remains one of few politicians who have never lost elections. Kennedy Agyapong chairs the Communication Committee in Parliament under the current presidency of Nana Akufo-Addo. Born on June 15, 1961 in Accra and hails from Sharma in the Western region, Joe Gatti is a Ghanaian lawyer, academic and politician. He's a former Attorney General of Ghana from 2006 to 2009, second Deputy Speaker of Parliament from 2013 to 2017, and Railways and Development Minister 2017 to 2021. He started his early education at the BRIDGET School in Accra and later attended Mfansipim Senior High School in Cape Coast. It was during his time at Mfansipim School that his leadership qualities began to show. He was appointed House Prefect of Pickard Packer House in his senior year, and he used his good offices to champion the development of sports and student participation in sports programs at Mfansipim. After Mfansipim, Gatti enrolled to study law and obtained his LLB degree in 1986 from the University of Ghana and BL from the Ghana School of Law in 1988, qualifying to be called to the Bar of Ghana in that same year. Joe Gatti took up a job as an associate at the Chambers of Lawyer Gbira in 2nd D. Later, he joined the firm of Akufo-Addo, Prempeh & Co., a leading law firm in Ghana, which was co-founded by his colleague parliamentarian and cabinet minister in the John Agyekum Kufuor administration, Nana Akufo-Addo. Gatti left this firm after 7 years and in 1994 co-founded the law firm Gatti & Gatti with his wife Efua Gatti. He's an authority in corporate and investment law. Kwabena Agyapong is a Ghanaian civil engineer, politician and dedicated sports enthusiast. Born on March 6, 1962 in Kumasi, Ghana, he embarked on a distinguished educational journey culminating in a bachelor's degree in civil engineering from the University of Science and Technology in Kumasi. Agyapong's professional trajectory was marked by his roles at the Ghana Highways Authority, where he conducted engineering evaluations of major roads and supervised critical repair works at airports. In 1992, he co-founded Constru Consult Limited, a firm specializing in geotechnical investigations and foundation design. His political engagements date back to Ghana's return, where he played integral roles in new patriotic party campaigns, including the Edu Boahin presidential campaign. Agyapong's expertise in communications led him to serve as press secretary to the president, overseeing media coverage of significant national and international events. His sports enthusiasm saw him anchor a prominent sports program on national television and cover major sporting events worldwide. Kwabena Agyapong's legacy is characterized by his multifaceted contributions to engineering, politics, and sports, reflecting a life dedicated to excellence, service, and nation building. Born March 23, 1965, Francis Adenimo is a Ghanaian politician. Francis Adenimo, the former Asante Mampong legislator, is therefore in a historic campaign that is daring the established names and faces to become NPP's flag bearer. The civil engineer is contesting to lead the NPP, arguing that the party needs fresh candidate to break the eight. He identifies as a Christian and is married with 3 children. Adenimo hails from Mampong, a town in the Ashanti region of Ghana. He attended the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, where he obtained a Bachelor of Science degree in Civil Engineering in 1993. He also attended the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration and obtained an Executive Master's degree in Public Administration. Adenimo is a development planner by profession and civil engineer. Dr. Kofi Konadu Apraku is a Ghanaian politician, economist, and a member of the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th Parliament of the 4th Republic of Ghana. He was a member of Parliament for the Ofinsu North constituency in the 4th Parliament of the 4th Republic of Ghana. Dr. Konadu Apraku was born at Akumadan in the Ashanti region of Ghana on September 7, 1954. He had his primary and middle school in Akumadan. He continued to the Trinibu Akodja Secondary School between 1967 and 1972 and continued his education in South Albany High School in Oregon, USA. After winning an AFS International Essay Competition, after which he studied for economics degrees at the Oregon State University, taking a doctorate in the subject. Dr. Kwedu Apreku was Minister for Regional Cooperation and NPP in John Kufuor's administration from 2003 to 2006. He also served as the Minister of Trade and Industry under Kufuor from 2001 to 2003. In 2008, he was appointed by the Economic Community of West African States, Council of Ministers as ECOWAS Commissioner for Macroeconomic Policy and Economic Research, where he was responsible for multilateral surveillance mechanism that involves regular assessment through joint surveillance mission of the economies of ECOWAS member states to ascertain whether the convergence's criteria are being met. He provides economic and statistical data for member states and help them to attain the convergence criteria and the ECOWAS single currency. He also liaises with the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, African Development Bank, among other financial institutions to support the development of ECOWAS regions. Dr. Apreku has had an extensive and successful professional career in the both and public sector. Dr. Owusu Friye Akoto, born on October 1949, is a Ghanaian agriculture.
Well, good evening, and sorry about that. Good evening. Welcome to Metro TV's coverage. In fact, this is the beginning of our coverage of the upcoming NPP's Special Delegates Conference. It's happening tomorrow, and in less than 12 hours, isn't it, Bridget?
Yes.
In less than 12 hours, we are going to see a lot of activities in different parts of this country. In fact, 17 centers have been earmarked for this all-important exercise. And Metro TV, as usual, as you do know, your election center will bring you everything that you need to know about what's happening tomorrow. My name is OTOO Moro, and I'm here with...
My name is BRIDGET OTOO. Again, thank you very much for joining us. Like Moro said, we have team across the country, and our special focus, obviously, in the Greater Accra region, also in the Ashanti region. And tomorrow's exercise is important because it's really about the future of the new patriotic party, a situation that they want to avoid, a situation that started way back in 2006, where the party got information. In 2000, they got information that in 2007 there will be more than 10 candidates, contesting. Right. They had about 17 candidates then, and the result of that was a lot of friction post that election, and which led to the NPP to lose seats. There's an instance, I think, more than 5 people contested that seat. When they lost, they went independent, and the NPP lost that seat. They want to avoid that, and so party leaders, in its wisdom, thought, look, let's have this super delegates conference or delegates congress where we would, if we have more than 10 persons contesting, we'll trim them down to 5 so that we can have enough time to bond beyond, personal grievances and personal feelings, rather look at the party's goal. So that's why we're here today, and we're here with the leading candidates, spokespersons for the leading candidates. The poll said, look, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, Mr. Alan Kojo Tremanting, and number 3, Kennedy Ejapon. So it is possible. It's my time. What's Kennedy Ejapon's?
What's his slogan?
What's his slogan?
What's Kennedy Ejapon's?
PhD. Is what?
PhD.
PhD.
That is patriotic, honesty, and discipline.
Hey.
Patriotism, honesty,
and
discipline.
And discipline.
Yeah. So
that's what he's been trumpeting.
Yes.
Oh, that's quite interesting.
Honesty.
Patriotism, discipline. No, patriotism, honesty, discipline.
Right.
Ah, I see. That's interesting.
So, and others call him Ghana's Trump. I don't know if you've heard that. So you heard Eugene.
You mean Ghana's answer to America's Donald Trump?
I know. And Eugene Ofori, the voice you just heard, Eugene Ofori speaks for the Kennedy Ejapon camp. So he'll tell us all about PhD. Also in the studio, we have the Greater Accra Regional Campaign Manager for It Is My Time, Alan Kojo Tremanting. But has his candidate done enough? Sylvester Tete, please, welcome to our studio.
Thank you very much, Bridget. Alan, has never said it's mine. then it is people organically saying it's your turn.
Oh, so it's not coming from him.
No.
It's coming from the grassroots.
And
of the
room,
party.
so it's not saying and room is so.
Okay.
Get it right.
Right.
It's GTP, Great Transformational Plan.
Right.
GTP.
Right. So which of the two is the slogan? Is it the GTP?
The
or
GTP, you can go with the GTP. Cash for the people, job for the boys.
Job for the
Oh my
boys.
God! You know, I always thought cash for the people, job for the
You
people.
forgot? You were just saying it.
No, I thought I thought it was it was job for the people, cash for
Cash
the
for
girls.
the people, job for the people.
Right. Also, our final guest representing the Vice President of the Republic, who is said to be leading in the polls conducted by the Global Info Analytics and several other polls as well. Miracles Abuaji is here and speaks for the Vice President. It is possible. What is possible?
It's possible to dream and achieve your dreams. It's possible to do the things that everybody thinks it's unthinkable. It is possible when you believe. It is possible when you set your mind to it. That's what the Vice President is saying.
And it's possible to lead the NPP even if you've been in it for about 15 years.
It is possible to do everything.
Right. Okay, so that's a miracle. Yeah.
Right.
More
But I'm just wondering, so maybe the first question I'd ask, well, let me start from Eugene Furry. Now, Eugene, what's the mood like in the Ken's camp? What has he been thinking? What's the conversation this very minute? How is he gearing up psychologically for the big day tomorrow?
Well, first of all, I would say good evening to our cherished viewers and the panel. My co-panel, what's his name again? Sly. And for him, I don't know him very well.
Daniels, Abuaji.
Okay, Abuaji.
Right.
Nice to be with you here. First of all, the mood at Ken's camp is exciting.
Okay.
Because he's laid down his plan. You can't be a great leader if you don't have these qualities of PhD.
Right.
PhD, basically what it is that you have to be patriotic to your country. If you are not patriotic, there's nothing that you can do. You have to be a pace-setter, be patriotic, and by his living, the way that he lives his life, he's been patriotic. Everybody knows that Ken has done a lot for this country. He has done a lot for individuals, and he continues to do it. He's a businessman, very successful businessman. And if you can be a good businessman, if you lose in whatever that you are doing, you cannot be a good leader. He has showed it that he's a good leader, and everybody, likes him. When you go out there, the slogan out there, people say that no Ken, no vote. We are not saying it, but it's the people saying it. He's the people's person. He's a grassroots person. He's the polling station executives person. He has feelings for everybody. He has the empathy. Ken cannot sit in his room if somebody's in trouble. You come to him and you tell him your troubles. Ken will lead you to solve the problem. Okay. He has empathy for everybody. So we are excited that this delegate conference is coming on. We take this as the first step, but yes, there will be surprises tomorrow, but the main event is November 4th, when the real people...
Is there anything that has shocked him? I mean, he's an experienced member of parliament, vocal, popular, but to say you want to contest the flag bearership could come with certain, doubts. Did it surprise him how well he was received?
It doesn't. It doesn't surprise him at all. Ken wants to lead to transform this country. He has a lot of ideas, but he can't do it if he's not holding the mantle himself.
Right.
That's why he decided to run for this presidency, flag bearership, and eventually to be the president of Ghana.
I see. Yeah. How does he react to the various polls that have been, that are flying around, and most of which put him as number 3? In fact, the only poll that puts him at number 2 is Ben Efson's poll that says he's second. He'll be second to the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bamia. Is he unfazed? Is he?
To be honest with you, I'm hearing the first time about the polls.
Right.
In this studio. This is the first time I'm hearing.
But are you conducting your own internal polls?
Our own internal polls.
What does it tell you?
Now, from what we know,
okay,
that the people, like Ken, and tomorrow's event is not the final event.
Yeah.
Right.
These are selected delegates. And from what is going on out there, the intimidation, coercing people to do, what...
Intimidation from where?
These allegations have been dismissed flatly.
Well, they can
and
dismiss
entirely.
it all they want,
That is
but
not
we know
true.
it's out. Everybody's talking about it.
Do you have any
They can
evidence?
dismiss it
Do you
all
have any evidence to back this allegation you're making that people have been intimidated?
Well, the voice of the people is the voice of God. The voice of the people.
I,
There's no
I'm
smoke
even
without fire.
interested
I can tell you that.
in
There's no
finding
smoke
out
without fire.
intimidation in what form?
Well, I think I read somewhere this evening that even some of the delegates have been camped. There's an attempt to camp some of the delegates for what reason?
Speculative, but that's speculative.
It's speculative, but
That's
there's
a
no,
rumor.
like I said, there's no smoke without fire. There is no smoke without fire. We all know what's going on, so we can't pretend like nothing is going on in this country.
But you said you've heard. You haven't said it is happening. It's which is
Well,
fact. So
I'm
you heard.
busy working. I'm out there in my office, but I read stuff and I hear stuff.
Okay.
So, I have not seen it myself.
I mean, you have no reason.
It hasn't
okay.
happened.
So even if it's a hearsay, what you're saying is that you have no reason to dismiss it or to say it is
I
not
have
true.
no reason to dismiss it.
You would want to believe that it is true, but it doesn't make it a fact.
Like I said, there's no smoke without fire, so I believe it.
All right. So I think we'll take the same
Yes,
things
yes.
around about
Sylvester,
the mood in the camp and so on
Same
and so
for
forth.
Alan's camp. What's the general atmosphere like, across the country?
Good evening, Moro, and to my bad boyfriend.
Miracle's a big man, though.
You know, he trained me. So
Oh, he trained you.
Look at
Oh, that's interesting.
I'll give you the background.
I
later.
didn't train
So he has said that he's a bad man. It's an
I
off-record
didn't train him.
conversation.
He's doing now.
It's an off-record conversation.
Well,
Right.
Bridget, and to our viewers, I think to us in Alan Chamantin's camp, A for P, Alan for President 2024, I mean, we don't see anything different happening except to say we are focused on our campaign. Tomorrow is just a mere formality. It's an exercise to select 2 more people to join the top 3. If you ask anybody who is political or apolitical in this country, he will tell you that 3 men out of the 10 that have set themselves apart for November 4th elections, and that is Alan Chamantin, Honorable Kennedy Japon, and of course the Vice President of the Republic. And so tomorrow's exercise is to add on 2 to meet our constitutional obligation for November 4th election. So for us, it's business as usual. We're going about our business. We come to our campaign office. We're still on our plan for campaigning, talking to people, doing the normal things we do. We are only following the process because, election is not an event. It's a process. Not just the event, the day of the event, but the process leading to the event itself is what we are keenly watching because the parties own. These are new national executives conducting this election. So 2 elections in 3-4 months, we are keenly interested. And I must say they've done pretty well. The elections committee they've put in place has done very, very well. And to that extent, we are following the process. And some of the guidelines they put in place, we are hoping and following keenly to ensure that they live up to it, the kind of messages they've given to us, the assurances they've given to all of us. Even
the
though
election committee.
The elections committee and the National Executive Committee itself, even though tomorrow's exercise is much ado about nothing, it is going to select 5 people to put them ahead for the general public. For the bigger delegate in November 4th. If you win tomorrow, it doesn't make you the flag bearer of our party.
So if Alan Chamantin wins tomorrow,
It doesn't make him the flag bearer.
It wouldn't mean anything.
It will mean nothing.
Okay.
What is important is the leader of our party. That will be selected on November 4th. You can win tomorrow and lose the next one.
And you keep saying, you stated earlier that it's the people who are saying it's your time.
Yes.
It's your time. And what makes you think that the same people would vote him when they have rejected him in 3 different elections? And in fact, Mr. Alan Chamantin's performance has rather dwindled. The highest he ever got was 32.5 in 2007. Since then, it's been 4, but he's never crossed 5%.
Let me tell you something. Me, Sylvester, sitting here. Everybody who knows, that's why it surprises people. I'm supporting Alan Chamantin. I've never supported Alan Chamantin in my young political life. In 2007, I saw it. I'm an ardent apostle of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. And trust me, I've followed the politics keenly. I've risen through the ranks from the polling station, constituency secretary, TESCON president. I've managed constituency campaign. I've managed regional chairman. I've managed national chairman. I was one time a member of the National Council. I've been 3 times parliamentary candidate. 3rd one, I'm lucky I'm in parliament. I know this party too well. After 2007, it was clear that we lost the election painfully. So the party came around, rallied around Nana Akufo-Addo for 2012 election. So there was no way we were going to change the party. It's always almost impossible when you have a credible and competent candidate in opposition. You don't change. You rather rally around for you to go forward for the elections.
So why was it not right then for him to rally around Nana Addo at the time?
The political decision is left to each one of us to decide. Obviously those going for the elections tomorrow, the super delegate, there are people, their wives don't even believe they will make 10 votes. But they are in there. It's a political decision. You don't fault him. At the time he was taking the decision, I wasn't there. But I'm telling you my observation as a politician, as a young politician.
So what has changed? The question really is about the people who have rejected him consistently for three different elections.
In those elections, the dynamics and the scenarios are quite different. In all those elections, Honorable Kennedy Japan was not a candidate. But in this election, he's a stalwart behind Nana Akufo-Addo's successes. I was part of it. I'm no more part of it because Nana Addo is not on the ballot. In this election, there is no Nana Addo. The dynamics are quite different.
Right.
So if you watch Nana Addo, in the build-up to 2007 elections, Nana Addo, it was something that resonated well with the party, that you needed a candidate that knows the in and out of this party well, that can hold the party. Don't forget, we are looking for a leader of our party who can manage and lead the party and subsequently becoming the leader of this country as a president.
Right.
So for me, the exigencies of 2007, 2010, and 2014 are quite different from today. We were rallying behind Nana Addo. Nana Addo will not be on the ballot. So our loyalty to Nana Addo is not transferable in today's contest. So you look within who is fit to meet the bill for 2024. And don't forget, 2008 elections is different from 2012, and 2012 was different from 2016. And obviously 2020 is different from 2016. Right. 2024 is going to be different from all the previous elections. That is why when you speak to any leading member of a party, it tells you we are going to have the most difficult elections in 2024.
See, look, I think the miracles, what was the mood like generally in the camp of the vice president? Where is he? Is he in town or he's outside?
He's in town.
He's in town.
The vice president has been on the road for close to about 48 days.
Right.
He was doing the constituency-based campaign. Last Sunday, he brought Eastern Region to an end, which made up about 5 regions: Greater Accra, Ashanti, Western, Central, Eastern. This constituted 154 constituencies, made up of 128,000 delegates. But in the past 7 days, he's been doing 5 days actually, he's been dealing with the special delegates. And to him, the special delegate is not a mere formality. It's serious business. It's an incumbent in our constitution. We take it very, very seriously. We are paying serious attention to it because there's a reason why the party puts that structure in place. And I kept hearing people make this assertion that tomorrow's election has no bearing on November 4th. And I think it's a defeatist argument. If you remember, a few weeks before now, a lot of our opponents were even talking about a runoff. I'm sure you heard it, a runoff.
Yes, the polls did mention that.
Exactly, that on August 26th, if there's a runoff, about 8
Alan
of them
would actually
intended
win
to
and then
come together as an alliance. So the question you should be asking is what changed? It tells you that as the days get nearby, people are beginning to realize that everything points to the fact that the party people are ready for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. And that is why you keep seeing them shifting posts. The way our party is structured, if you truly understand our party, then you know that the super delegates election is not a congregation of super wise people in our party. What the party decided to do post-2007 is to say that anytime we have numbers beyond 5 who decide to file, we should aggregate the views of our party to sieve these numbers to 5 first of all, before we take them to the larger group. Because we learned in 2007 that the crisscrossing of several people running around was causing too much chaos. Now, the representation of the 955 people tomorrow the votes are not their personal views. They are coming to cast vote to represent the views of their people. So that is why in every constituency, the chairman, who is the leader of the constituency, is being selected by the party's constitution to come and express the views of his people, the members of parliament. So if you're an MP who hasn't met your people yet, then you are failing your people. Because your duty is not to say that you are wiser than everybody in the party. The view of the constitution is that come and come and express the views of the people you represent. That is why if you look at our special organs, the youth wing, the women's wing, and the Nasara wing, it is not only the national youth organizers and their deputies and women organizers and deputies who are coming to vote. Aside them, the constitution makes room for representatives from the special organs to come and express the views of the youth in the party, express the views of the women in the party. The external.
That is very laughable.
Please allow him to learn.
He was quiet.
This is what he knows. This is what he knows about how the process works. So
Anyway, we'll explain.
yeah, please go
Yes.
ahead, Miracles.
I was very quiet. Though.
I know.
Yeah, it's all right.
I'll continue to be very quiet.
Yes.
You need to know if I want to
It's
do
your
that.
stance on the topic.
You mean you can deal with the heckling?
I mean, external branches are in Ghana. Today, the Canada rep, one of them was speaking on Asempa, and he was emphatic. He said, before I came, we had meetings with our branch.
Okay.
And our branch, we solicited for the views of the members of the branch. And as he has arrived in Ghana, he's very clear in his mind what the branch, majority of the branch in Canada are asking him to come and vote. He said it on air. I didn't say it.
Okay.
You understand? So if you're an MP and you haven't done that, then you are failing your people. What it means is that tomorrow, when they go to the polls, it is going to be Honorable Sylvester Tete, who is expressing the views of his people. And he should tell the people on air today that whatever view he's expressing today, he's not expressing it on behalf of the people of Botiano. And that is going to be his views. And then,
Yes, no, he said he'll explain.
And
I think it makes
then
sense.
We'll come to you, don't
And
worry.
then the branch people are also going to express the views of their branches. Now, I can tell you without any shade of doubt that if you are in this contest tomorrow and you are saying that oh, it's not important, it's just a formality, we are waiting for the main one, you are already lost. Because if you cannot convince barely 1,000 members of this party to vote for you, and you are telling everybody in this studio that you can convince 250,000 people, then I wonder what strategy it is that you are talking about. Bridget, we shouldn't allow anybody to hoodwink us. The party people in the New Patriotic Party are clear in their minds. We won't win election 2024. We believe each of the 10 candidates is capable. In fact, each of them can be better president than His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. No doubt about that. I knew you were going to smile. No doubt about that. They can be better president than John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency. But we are not looking for one that can be only a better president than John Dramani Mahama. Before you can show your competence as a president, you have to win an election first. And so you can be the brainest, the smartest, the intelligent. If you lose the next election against John Dramani Mahama, you cannot have the chance to show how competent a president you are. In our party today, the only person that has the capacity to beat His Excellency John Dramani Mahama in the 2024 elections is Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
Okay.
There is absolutely no doubt about
We'll
it.
come back for you to explain to us why you believe that the only person
I
who
need
can
to
be
do some
the
clarity.
We will let you.
Calm down, calm down.
Yeah.
We are very loud. Calm down, calm down.
And poison, you are poisoning that.
Yeah, the next,
He has poisoned.
I am putting out my president. You are. Calm down.
so we'll come back to you to tell us why you think
No,
he's the best person
listen,
to
I'll
be
let
the
him
former
speak. I'll come and
president. Yeah. But what do you make of what he said so far?
He said,
For
in
what,
terms of what
my
the
brother said.
The
representation.
representation, yeah.
Yes.
The statistics of tomorrow's voting.
It's laughable.
Or say the statistical consequences or ramification of tomorrow's
Right.
vote.
Tomorrow we have about 955, you said?
961.
961.
In fact, before you go ahead, please
Can
let's
we
do
have
this.
that on the
Yes,
wall so
Henry,
we
let's
go
do this
through it?
quickly so that we can set the tone of the context for this conversation for persons who have
Right.
not been following
Yeah.
what's been happening or what is going to happen tomorrow. So, Bridget, as you can see, it's 10
Right.
candidates. Isn't
10
it?
candidates,
And we
yes.
have 961 special delegates.
961
special delegates who will be
delegates
voting tomorrow.
to vote tomorrow.
We have 17 voting centers. We have 4 voting. Okay, so we have 4 hours.
Of
right?
voting, yes.
Of voting.
Of voting.
Starts
Then
at 9, ends
after-
at 1.
Yeah.
And then you have 5 successful candidates that tomorrow will emerge.
Yes.
I have a question about what happens if 3 people share the number and each gets it, the rest gets 0-0. What
Right,
happens?
right.
I'm sure that when we get, what's the name of the guy? Director of elections.
Evans Nimako.
Evans Nimako
Yes,
to come and
he'll
explain
talk.
what happens if
But
that happens.
I think they.
Yeah.
We will come to this, but I think it's important we let Eugene speak, and then we'll come to
Yeah, for what my brother said,
as well.
that the tomorrow's delegates is a representation of the people. To me, it's laughable.
Right.
Because we have 961 super delegates voting tomorrow.
Yeah.
On November 4th, we have over 200,000 people.
Okay.
They are going to vote tomorrow to express their personal views, not a representation of anybody. Don't let
But
nobody
what
lie.
makes you think they didn't seek the views of their people before taking that decision?
Nobody has reported that he saw the views of people that they are representing. No.
Okay.
It is not. It is not true. It is their own personal preferences. And these are super delegates, people who have been, I don't want to even go there, but we all know that these are special people. They are not representation of the ordinary people.
You mean they are representing their own interest?
Yeah,
Or personal interest?
well, I won't say that.
Okay.
I won't say
Is that view strong because the general acceptance, or I said acceptance in quotes, that there's an established candidate and they are established delegates of some. So is that why it's so prominent?
To be honest with you, that's the saddest point that we have reached as a party.
Right.
That during primaries, nobody is supposed to, come openly to support one candidate.
Right.
But let me tell you,
What is wrong with that?
What is wrong with that?
What is wrong with that?
I'll give you an example.
Right.
About 3 weeks ago,
Okay.
we had Parliament. We couldn't form a quorum in Parliament because most of our MPs were following one candidate. And I haven't heard any of our party elders saying something about it. They couldn't form a quorum in Parliament to carry on the country's business. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? And they were following one candidate. So to us, if that is not a representation of the people,
No, but it's your problem, the number of people who are following the vice president, or the effect that it has on parliamentary work?
my problem, no.
Which is which?
Both.
Both.
But my real problem
Okay.
is that it appears that the establishment want to impose a candidate on us. And that shouldn't happen.
And
It's
then,
more open because it will be difficult for us all to come together. You preach about unity.
What about the
If-
point Dennis makes about a defeatist approach? You're clutching at straw because in your mind, your candidate may not win, may not be number one in the top 5, and so you are preparing your mind for the defeats that await you.
Oh, that is his own, the way, if you
mean that's his
describe it
opinion,
that way,
he's
that is
entitled
on
to
mine.
it.
That is entitled to his own opinion. But I disagree with that. Because you cannot have 961 people represent, you're just supposed to win over 200,000 people on November 4th. Come on now. How can that be a representation of the people? No,
But let's come back to the issue you raised earlier about how MPs are following the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bamia. You think is an issue because, in your view, these are not people who should be publicly stating their preference for one aspirant or the other.
Right.
But here's the thing. Have they breached any party's law or your party's law by doing that? Or you're raising a purely moral argument?
I'm not sure. Maybe a slide will probably throw some light on it because I'm not sure what the Constitution says in terms of supporting one candidate in the primaries.
Right.
But I think morally it's wrong.
You think morally is wrong?
It's wrong because it makes it very difficult for us all to be united. If
the same MPs were following Ken, would you have said the same thing?
Excuse me?
If the same MPs that you're complaining are following the vice president, and that makes him an established candidate, I'll ask you what an establishment candidate is anyway, but if these same MPs were following Ken, would you have a problem with it?
I will have a problem.
You will have a problem
will,
with it?
yes.
You would have complained anyway?
I will have complained.
So you're not complaining because they're not following you, they're following somebody else?
No, not at all. Not at all. I think that it makes it difficult for us all to come together as a party
Okay.
when we choose a flag bearer. Because if
Is it really about coming together or that they represent a large constituency? Because members of
sort of
parliament,
poses a
yes,
threat.
and that naturally poses a certain threat.
it doesn't, I don't think it's a threat. No. I think
So you're more concerned about post-conference unity
exactly.
rather than the threat that it poses to the victory of your candidate or the
Exactly.
aspirant?
Yes.
I see.
I think Dennis says you're here in your
But
own
please,
capacity. Everything you say, it's not.
I'll come back to you on what your definition of an establishment candidate is, because it looks like different people are giving different
Well,
interpretation of what an
I can tell you
establishment.
right now.
Right,
Yes.
go ahead.
In my mind, an establishment candidate is a candidate that we see all appointees, all government officials, all MPs are following one candidate. That's because they form this establishment of NPP.
I'm not convinced.
You are
sorry.
not?
Yes. I mean, the fact
It
that
was the
ministers,
system. You have a
the fact that
government-
ministers
yes.
are following one candidate, the fact that MPs are following one candidate, how does that make the person an establishment candidate? Unless you're suggesting that there's some headmaster somewhere who's whipping these people in line and telling them that, look, follow this guy or you're in trouble.
That could be possible. Look, we have the Eastern Regional Minister
Right.
allegedly said that anybody who does not vote for the
Dr. Mahmoud
Dr.
Bawumia.
Bawumia, God should punish them, or something like that, something to that effect. You think that's fair? No, everybody should have their own mind and who to vote for.
Yeah, but that cannot constitute somebody whipping somebody into line. That's just his wish.
Oh,
And whether that statement is enough to arrive at this conclusion that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is an established, I'm saying I'm not convinced.
you are not convinced.
Unless you give me a more compelling argument that somebody somewhere very powerful is telling everybody else that, look, if you vote for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, you either lose your job, you either lose your contract, and you can back it with some evidence.
We had picked up
You know,
information.
don't worry,
of
I'm
the
not.
president.
We're here to ask questions.
I think it's time for Sly.
Oh, Sai has some responses here.
No, let me
he's here in his
respond
personal
to
capacity.
what
Yes, that's what yeah.
Miracle sought to explain the Constitution beyond what the Constitution, the spirit and latter of it really means. And let me place on record that the intention of the Constitution is in black and white.
Okay.
Both the latter and the spirit is to shortlist the candidate beyond 5 to 5 and nothing else. And let me place on record, nobody is enjoined as a super delegate to go and consult your constituents. The chairmen who were declaring and the MPs who were declaring for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, did they consulted their constituents? They didn't. In any case, the polling station executives who are going to vote, they were also elected. Don't forget, the polling station executives, they were elected. Are they going to hold conferences and ask those who elected them as polling station executives before they go and cast their vote? What kind of argument is this? As an MP, I earned it. And I'm accorded that dignity, that respect, that I can independently decide which of these 10, 5 of them can go forward. I need not to go and consult my constituents. And none of the people following...
But Sly, that makes no sense in the delegate system.
Please, no. If that is the case,
okay,
then it means that when you make the decision, then we shouldn't even go for further elections again.
Right.
Okay. Face it.
Which is game over.
It's game over.
Okay.
But that's not what it means.
To follow that logic.
That's not what it means. Because if you are supposed to go and consult your people before you take a decision, then why go back to the people again?
Right.
So I'm saying that tomorrow is an opinion of 961. Opinion. Just opinion. We could be wrong. Look, I tell you what. The 5 that will be shortlisted tomorrow, the 10, somebody may get 0. But when you put him to the general elections, he may score more votes than perhaps somebody who has made a mark in the super delegate. It's a possibility.
Yeah.
So this issue of go and consult what they tell you is what is going to happen, that's a lie. In the last conference to elect the national leaders of our party, we saw 15 regional chairmen saying that that is what their people were telling them, that they should go with John Boydo. When we went to Accra Sports Stadium, what happened? He lost. So this issue of let people be independent and think. I'm an MP. I did not just become an MP. My people voted for me. They believe, they trust that I can take a decision for and on behalf of my people. So this issue of go and consult them before you come and take a decision, which of the people going around today had consulted anybody? In any case, if that's how we stretch the argument, the polling station people that will vote will expect that they will go to the masses, the party people down there. Because they will have electoral polling station register of our party support base at the polling station. That elected 5 people at polling station level. So they should also go and ask them.
But Sylvester, we're practicing democracy.
Yes.
And if we're to enhance the principles of democracy,
yes,
then just going back, it may not, you are not enjoined, as
you are going into the realms of absurdity in law. You are going into the realms of absurdity. That is what I'm telling you.
No. So you go back to delegates or your constituents.
Yes.
Look, we can have a frank conversation and say, okay, who do you think that we should put our weight behind?
And nothing stops you from doing that.
So but in expressing that view, yes, it may seem, but it's actually a representation of what the people we met in that meeting said.
If I may interject.
Yes.
Just today, there's a press release by the National Association of NPP Polling Station Agents. If I may read just a portion of it.
Okay.
They're saying that the people voting on Saturday are choosing their individual preferences to be in the top 5.
Right.
And do not vote on our behalf.
Yes.
They are not voting on anybody's behalf.
So we have another leg of election. So
who is this group?
This is the National Association of NPP polling station agents.
Right.
But Bridget, why are we believing this point?
That's fine.
The point is that.
So I think you know what? I think that
it doesn't end there. They've had two
No,
shots.
please.
Actually,
Please.
Yes,
I've not finished. Let me
bring you in.
Let me
Yes,
finish.
yes. No, let's slide.
So please land.
So clearly, the super delegates are the constituency chairman, regional executives, national executives, past national officers of our party, national council reps, and diaspora reps. The gentleman, he said, asked his branch who they should come and vote for. I mean, there are 3 from Canada. I've also spoken to other members of the team from Canada. Nobody held a meeting and asked his people who you are going to vote for.
See.
I mean, in any case, it doesn't even matter. You can, if you decide to do that, it has no bearing on the subsequent elections. That's the point I'm making. Because after tomorrow, there's going to be another round. If you win tomorrow, it doesn't matter. Look, in general election, somebody will win first round, second round, he may lose. 2008 general election, another was leading the first round. When he went to second round, didn't he lose? He lost it. Painfully, we were weeping. But the point is that as an MP, as a constituency chairman, as a regional executive, your decision is because of where you are. The party has accorded you that respect that you can help the party shortlist 5 people for main elections. That's it.
So you mean this has nothing to do with consulting?
It has nothing to do with consulting. Nothing in the constitution, the letter and the spirit expect anybody to go and do this kind of consultation. For people to spin it to the extent that because, you see, there was a statement last week, and I've said, this is the 3rd time I'm saying this, that Honorable Chairman Sambonso, if indeed he did not say that, he should come out. To the extent that if somebody gets
60%.
60 to 70%, we should allow the person to go. That is the kind of premise people are building. It is dangerous for our party and for our democracy. And I caution, I'm seeking to speak to him to clarify that particular statement. How do you say that somebody gets 60% of 961? In my constituency, we have a total delegate list of 1,151 voting in November 4. We are only 2 having the opportunity to vote tomorrow. No. So you're telling me if constituencies with no MP, it's only the chairman who comes to vote, and they go and take a decision for 1,500 people. Ashama, you have 1,900 people in Ashama as polling station executives. It's only the chairman who has the opportunity to come and vote tomorrow. Then you are telling me the chairman's decision is of all the people. What kind of democracy? And so our constitution, this argument and explanation is alien to our constitution. Because read the constitution, it says to shortlist. The essence is to shortlist.
All right.
So based on your position, they've given you that authority to help shortlist. The decision to lead our party rests with the 208,000 people who are going to vote. Otherwise, we'll have to go back to the polling station register and consult all of them. 5 million party people should be consulted to decide who leads our party.
So because it's quite clear that the 2 of you have different interpretations on the outcome of tomorrow's elections. You say it speaks volumes. It means a lot. He says it doesn't. Now, I'd allow you to come in with your final comment on what you have said so far. And then going forward, I don't know how your team feels about this whole thing about Bawumia as an establishment card, as an establishment. How does the team feel about that type of narrative? So that's my second question to you.
Bro, I'm telling you that any of the candidates that makes the kind of argument that the Eugene and Honorable Sly are making are just defeatist. That is what it is. Listen. The NPP is a very structured organization. The argument you're making is completely flawed. You know the number of people who voted for NPP in the last elections? Over 6 million people. Are they not the ones that the party is looking forward to? They voting again for the party and even more. And we are going to select a candidate for them to come and vote for them. Isn't it the case? Why don't we then let every other NPP person vote? Because the 250,000 number is also very small. That they can't also be taking a decision for over 6 million.
What is leadership then?
Can you please?
But the 6 million aren't only NPP.
There is a number of NPP card holding people. Right. I'm just trying to
make a point.
Make some sense out of the point Sly is making. We have over 5 million people who hold party cards. All these people are hoping that we'll get a candidate that they all want, that they generally accepted. Is it not 250,000 people will be taking a decision on November 4th? Representation counts. it's okay. The people of Botiano are listening to the IMP. The IMP says he doesn't need to consult them. And that tomorrow he's not obliged to consult them and that he will take a decision based on how he feels. I leave that to him. I know several MPs. I know 120 MPs who have held meetings with their people.
That's a lie.
And,
don't lie on the TV like this, please.
Okay, no, he says he knows.
Please.
You are here. Bridget. You know me. It's not the first time you heard it. You need to I'm just coming from the Nooks Church. You sat here and said that. The Canada rep who spoke on air, which is on the record, everybody can hear, said that he met his people. He spoke on Asempa. It's online. Everybody heard him. You are saying that he is lying, and that you spoke to some two people that you spoke with them in a room. You want me to believe you? I'm making a point that I say I'm lying. But what you said about the Canadian people that nobody heard, you're saying it's true.
But I can tell you on authority that my candidate is an MP.
Let me. I said 120 MPs.
Okay, 120.
Pay very close attention. Please stop interjecting.
So if it says
I think when you but to be fair to the discussion,
please go.
Janice remains quiet when you're all talking. So I think it's only fair. You can write all your points down.
I'm certified.
I'm really surprised that
he's coming from church.
No. I think it's an internal affair. That's
yes, and it's true. I've made a decision not to muddy the waters. So if Honorable Sly didn't consult his people, I know 120 MPs who have. In fact, on our rounds, the 154 constituencies we visited, the over 145 of the chairmen who declared in our presence, in the presence of their people, what they said was that I have consulted you and you have told me that on August 26th, I should vote for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. The tapes are there. I can share them with you for you to play them. So it is up to him. The people of Botiano, it's up to them to listen to the MP and decide whether they want an MP who go and vote based on his own views and not consult. Let me come to the other substantive issue. This issue of establishment, and I heard Mr. Eugene try to make a point that every MP, first of all, it's a complete lie. It's a falsehood. As a matter of fact, our campaign moves with the bus. The bus cannot carry even more than 50 people. You've seen that bus. That bus doesn't move with more than 4 MPs. Typically, what happens in our campaign is that every day we do an average of 4 constituencies. So usually you would have maybe 2 or 3 MPs on the bus because of the adjoining MPs. You know the constituencies 1, 2, 3, 4, they are together. So the MP that we are visiting his constituency will typically be waiting in his constituency. And then maybe the other 3 that either we have done it or we are moving to them afterwards will be with us on the bus. You never have more than 3 MPs with us on the campaign trail. That's a matter of fact. Your reporters are with us and you can check. I don't like speculations. I like people who speak to the facts. Again, this issue of establishment. What is an establishment candidate? That definition, they still haven't been able to come up with. And I heard Mr. Eugene say that an establishment candidate is the one that a lot of our appointees are supporting. Oh, wow. What are we campaigning for? Is it on numbers? The only category of people in this party today who are not allowed to publicly declare or advocate for a candidate is the national executives. You know why? Because they are the ones who are conducting the elections.
Right.
Regional executives, constituency executives, police station executives, ministers, presidential staffers, CEOs, board chairmen, members of parliament. Our constitution doesn't stop them from advocating. And that's why Honorable Sly is rightly so advocating for Honorable Alan. No law is preventing him. But think about this. Isn't it strange? We have 137, 38 MPP MPs in Parliament. About 120 have chosen and decided that just as Honorable Carlos Ahenkra, just as Honorable Sylvester, just as Honorable Abena Asare, just as Anyanso Otuom, Dr. Kisi, they've all decided to follow Honorable Alen Chamantin. They, the 120, also in their capacity as members of Parliament, are also following Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and you say that that is a crime?
Because some people are doubting this one.
No, you can doubt it. But the same people, they keep saying that majority. They keep saying, you keep hearing them say the majority. So let them give you the number. We know that we have 120 MPs in our corner. If you have more, then why are you calling us the establishment candidates? If you have more, why are you calling us the establishment candidates? Again, it's a numbers game. We are looking for numbers. For Christ's sake, the ministers have votes. The regional executives have votes. The constituency chairmen who are coming tomorrow, that you are saying that they have been camped and that they have no mind of their own, they have votes. They have run elections in their constituencies.
No, but they're saying their votes won't impact the November.
But there is no law. I'm separating the two. There is no law that stops them from openly declare. Why? Honorable Sly is openly advocating for Alan. So you have 10. You have not rebuked the 10. The 10 who are following you are fine. Or you have 50. You have not rebuked them.
So the reason behind it would be what exactly? Why do you think they object to?
It is defeatist. It is cowardice.
Well,
defeatist. That is what it is. Because otherwise, how come anytime I'm speaking?
It's like can't wait.
Yes, it is. You have your 10.
I mean, it's in order. I mean, we do point of order.
I get you.
But if it's I'm not good at that.
You are extremely good at it. Actually, you just told
like
right
now.
You don't like
Right now, he's distorted my thoughts.
Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
You understand?
Go ahead. Just
you still haven't been able to crack that question. That when you say somebody is an establishment candidate, why? Because I sat in a meeting with Honorable Sly, and the president was there. The president said, okay, Sly is here. Sly, you are board chairman for GE. Have I called you not to support any candidate? He said, no, Mr. President. You see, ask if I'm lying.
I will explain this very well.
No, let me. I was in the meeting. The president himself has said it on record that he has not called any government appointee. The president hasn't called me to tell me to support Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia or work against him. Listen, we have cabinet ministers supporting Honorable Alan Chamantin. Cabinet ministers, they sit in cabinet still with the president and the vice president. We have managers of our pairs, deputy finance minister, Honorable Abinasari. There is no crime in that. There is no problem in that. But don't come and tell me that you have 10. There's nothing wrong with it. Somebody has 120 and you say, as for them, you have not been whipped. As for you, you have a mind of your own. But the rest of us, we are daft and dumb. And that the same whip that was used against us wasn't used on us. You have no respect for us.
Okay. I think.
Let me make a quick point on this.
I'll come back to this.
Let me say this.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'll take it from the meeting with the president.
Yes. Okay.
President said something. The president, have I called you? I said, no. The president said, there may be people in his government, or even from where we were, Jubilee House.
Okay.
He is not aware. He has not come to his attention.
He added that.
Yes, he said so. There may be people from his government. And you see, there are degrees of influence in government. So when we say establishment, there are degrees of influence in government.
Right.
So the president was clear, and he admitted that. So there could be a minister, a chief of staff, people in higher authority that oversees a number of people. So when whipping from that angle comes in, it becomes an establishment thing. And look, this is an open secret. Let's not play games with the things we are doing today. I mean, please, in 2007, Alan Chamantin was seen as an establishment candidate. We were part at the other side of the coin. Please, these things.
The post-Kufuor.
You won't sit here to say that the president has called me. The president would never do that. He's the first national organizer of our party. He's gone through the mail. He knows, and it was clear in his mind that he, as a president, he has the power to hire and fire. And he has taken the decision not to fire anybody. But the issue of establishment does not emanate or ends with the president, but the other appointees of the president. It takes huge courage to be able to withstand even a minister that oversees you.
So you want
please, the kind of establishment.
So how come you are fearless?
Of course, we are different degrees of people, right? We are different. There are people, they are colleagues of ours.
Why?
The kind of things,
they would lose their position.
Please, let me tell you.
I just want to be
on this journey.
Be convinced.
Private conversations, you don't have their permission to share them. So people will say you don't have evidence. Exactly. We know what we are going through. Okay. We know the threat from people, not from the president. It won't come from the president. It won't come from the vice president. But there are people with influence. When you have a whole government for 7 years, you think people don't have influence? Please, we should stop this. So for me, let me go back to the kind of argument we are having here. I don't have any qualms. We have colleagues in the house. Yes, we have people who have gone follow the candidate and all that. They come back to tell you, we want to save our faces. People for primaries, others for keeping their jobs. Beginning until President spoke twice. The last meeting that was reported, that was the second time the President spoke to members of Parliament. I tell you what, the first meeting was with only members of Parliament. There was no media, so it didn't come out. The President said, I won't support anybody. You are at liberty to decide who you support. It ends there. But we all know degrees of influence on people. Today, the number of calls that has gone to some constituency chairman in Greater Accra, you'll be shocked. People that had never called people for the last 7 years, today they are placing calls to them. and the kind of communication that goes with it. Because it's our party, we don't want to be divulging some of these things in the open. But those of us in the middle of the game, we know what is happening.
So there's a hypocrisy
let me end on this issue trying to
You'll not be the one ending, no. You've done 3, I'll do 3.
Incite my constituents. You didn't consult them. I've said, and I'll be honest with it. Those who said they organized meetings to consult their people, God is watching all of us. I didn't do that. Okay. That is why after my choice tomorrow, 1,151 has opportunity to review my own decision.
Exactly.
They have opportunity to review my decision. Whether the decision I've taken.
I mean, when you go for primaries.
No. I'm talking of tomorrow, the shortlisting.
Yes.
You may shortlist somebody to be first, but your constituents will have opportunity to do what? To review your decision.
I see.
Whether to agree with you or not.
In this whole
and then beyond that, the generality of Ghanaians will have opportunity to review the decision of 208,000 people. That is why it is not a done deal when you become a flag bearer of a party. If it's left to NPP members alone, whoever becomes a flag bearer is a president. The good people of this country are watching.
Eugene,
I'll get my text done.
We have another 25 minutes. So, Eugene, where do you stand? You still insist Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is an establishment after all that you've heard them say?
That is what I believe.
That's what you believe?
Exactly.
Okay, so what else do you want to add to what they've said so far?
Well, Sly is a member of parliament.
Okay.
And obviously, yes, he knows what is going on more than I do.
Okay.
I'm an outsider.
Right.
And my brother here too, he said you were in the meeting when he met the president. So what he takes it to be, that's fine with me. But we are not afraid of how many MPs are following his candidate.
So your point is whether Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is an establishment candidate or not is inconsequential for you.
Not at all.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter at all. Because like he said...
My point, I want to find out the points Sly makes about being fearless. And also there are some who are just the shadow of a big person over there who can whip you for not supporting a particular candidate. They may not say it's public, they may say, but then there's a subtle influence. And he mentions people who are influential. And I asked, who is Gabi Ochidaku, for instance? We know he's a very influential person in the NPP. So how are you not afraid going against such persons if they support Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia?
I am my own person. I'm not afraid of anybody. And if I'm a delegate, I will vote for who I want to vote for.
Then it defeats the point itself.
That's what I'm saying, that we are not afraid. Because tomorrow is not going to be the end. Tomorrow, like I said, is going to just select the 5 people. And to say that those who are going to vote tomorrow are representatives of the representative of the people, it doesn't wash. And we are going to have over 200,000 people voting on November 4th. That is the battle. So tomorrow is just to select 5 people. And to say that that's a defeatist argument that we are making here, that's his cup of tea. I will leave it up to him.
Okay. Dennis, I'm thinking that perhaps it's me, but if they say, okay, I'm an established candidate, I will accept it.
But
what is wrong with
confusion? There's nothing
accepting?
wrong. There's nothing wrong. My confusion is your confusion. Up to now, you and I and all of us here have not been able to understand who or what defines an establishment candidate, unless you have the definition.
Okay, so put it this way.
Because you believe so. Can I get this definition?
Macho, 1 second.
Because if I know the definition, then I know what I'm accepting.
Let me put it this way. Now, those who are saying that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is an establishment candidate are saying that it is not for nothing that a lot of government officials are following.
Okay.
It is not for nothing that a lot of MPs are following him, MMDCs, and so on and so forth. There's no smoke without fire. Something is happening. It can only be because there's somebody, not the president.
It is only when you are
somebody who is asking.
It is only when you are
to
incompetent when it comes to mobilization that you make such arguments.
Okay.
Come on, for Christ's sake. In 2007, when Mr. Alan Chamantin was being accused to be an establishment candidate, it wasn't based on speculation.
Okay, hold on.
And it wasn't
so he was being accused of being an establishment candidate because...
So I'll give you the definition. So I'll give you why at that time people said that.
Okay.
So it may be true, it may be false.
Okay. Yes.
But at that time, these are some of the reasons. 20th November 2007,
right.
4 SACS ministers, DCEs. Okay? Sources at the Kufuor presidency have hinted that President Kufuor will be reshuffling his ministers
please be careful.
and remove a large number of DCEs from office this week. This morning,
sources.
The information indicates that this is Ghana Web. The information indicates that the exercise had already begun and the president firing some DCEs. Those to be affected are ministers and DCEs who have been identified as being supportive of Alan Chamante's bid to win presidential candidacy of the NPP, forthcoming on 22nd December 2007. So you see, if not for anything at all, there is a clarity in terms of why.
But please.
Oh, will you stop
Yes.
this?
No, please.
So if not for anything at all, the basis for which some people may probably be speculating or making the case is some of these stories and these news.
Okay.
Now, one of the reasons why I chose, in fact, today when I was coming here, I told Kwesi Claire that I didn't want a paneling.
Right.
It's because some people in our party have set an agenda to muddy the party and to drag the party in the mud. And I choose not to be part. You don't sit on TV. And as a member of parliament, you make a point that as for you, you know there are threats. There are people who are following a candidate because people in government are calling them and threatening them. And they, your colleague MPs, your colleague ministers, your colleague appointees in government are following Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia because they are fearful, that they are afraid for their jobs, that maybe they have private conversations with you, and it's because of their jobs, it's because of their primaries and what have you. If your definition of establishment candidates in this particular premise is that a lot of government appointees are following Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, I am telling you that it's because of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's capacity to mobilize and move numbers to support his vision. That is why he has the numbers.
Okay.
I am a presidential staffer. The president hasn't called me. Nobody has called me to follow Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. I am following Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia because, as we speak today, he's the only person that believes completely in this particular government and party amongst the 10. He's the only one that stands up and speaks up.
When you say he believes completely,
We have had people from other candidates yesterday. I don't want to repeat it. I tried so much not to make comments that runs our party through the gutters. So I don't want to repeat it.
Does that include if I disagree?
You see, if
I disagree
with the policy, when you have your staff
program,
meeting, when you have your staff meeting in Metro, Bridget is one of the most boisterous people. when you have your staff meeting at Metro, you have disagreements, but she doesn't come on Twitter to come and tweet about what happened in the Metro TV management meeting or staff meeting. Okay, that is one of the codes and ethics that you hold when you belong to an organization. There are things that you discuss in the boardroom. There are things you discuss in the management room to shape the organization. It has no impact if you bring things that you believe affect the party, that you need to contribute positively to fix it. There is no impact if you come and put it on.
But that's also based on the assumption that everything that the government has done is liked by government.
Nobody has said that.
Good. So the point I'm trying to make is that if I test the pulse of the people and I realize that on a particular issue, policy, program, could be anything, the party people, and for that matter, by extension, Ghanaians have not been too or particularly excited about it. And I feel that I need to let them know that I stand with them on that. You can have an issue with how the person
delivers. We have platforms
to do that, but you don't have to do that
publicly.
We
have platforms where we meet the party people, and I'm very passionate about this matter. Okay. I'm worried. As a young person in this party, I am saddened by how some of our colleagues, some of our party members, in the name of contest, are dragging the name of our party based on falsehood and lies.
Because how so?
For example, the point he's making about some people coming to him and telling him they fear for their life, they fear for their jobs, it's a falsehood, it's a lie.
How do you know?
It is a lie.
But it is not coming from. But that is the whole point.
Put out the name.
But that is the whole point. The point is,
they're all brave.
So he can say.
But his fearlessness does not include exposing people who have told him stuff in confidence.
So any statement you make, that you claim you cannot substantiate, you don't put it out there in the name of to muddy the party, unless you are very sure you can substantiate. Otherwise, I insist that you are dragging the name of all your other colleague MPs who are not supporting your candidate in the mud. Because you know what you have done? What you have done right now is that any MP, any minister, any government appointee that is not in support of your candidate, you are saying they are daft, and that their decision is purely based on fear and threat. It is unfair, it is wrong, it is against the code and ethics of our political party, and I will not encourage it. That notwithstanding, I tell you that I don't take these things to heart, and I don't think any of the party people take these things seriously, because they know it's all for the votes. It's all for the numbers. But I can assure every other candidate who is doing all these things against the party that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is going to win these elections. Not because he has nothing to say, or not because any of us who support Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia see nothing wrong with the party and the government, but we know the platforms. We know the places to raise these conversations to make sure that whilst we work to fix them, we protect the sanctity of the party. It is a lie. Nobody in this government has called anybody in government or in parliament to support anybody.
Okay.
It's a complete
No, but I don't think
mistake.
that's what he
And then-
said. So,
but that's what he said.
Based on, I beg,
That's
we
what he
need
said.
to bring him in.
point he
We need to
made.
bring him in. No, it's
No,
important. It's
slide,
important. I'll bring you
just
back.
a quick-
That's the point he made.
Eugene.
He can fix it, and I'll be glad if he
Yes,
says it. in
no, it's
another
okay.
way.
Based
But
on
the
what
way he said
Miracles
it
has
is
said,
wrong.
then it means your aspirant is guilty as well, because he was the one who came talking about people who claim they are
Guilty
managers
of what?
the economy, guilty of
Strategist. We are strategists.
criticizing your own party for one or two things that the party didn't get right. You know, Ken has been very outspoken about certain things that he felt hasn't
Has
gotten
he said
right.
anything that is not true?
About the economy and how it's managed. He says, well, the IMF.
Has he
If
said
you are-
anything that is not true?
Yeah, but he says you're dragging the name of the party into the mud.
No, telling the truth does not mean that you are dragging the party
wish
into
you
the
well.
mouth. He's bringing it to
We wish you well.
No,
We
and
wish you
my
well.
brother has
You don't
spoken
accept
well.
that you're cutting
But
your
if
own
that's what you think,
nose.
you can play the ostrich all you want.
We wish you
that there's no established
Establishment candidate, yes.
candidate.
Yeah.
That's fine. We will find out tomorrow what's going to happen tomorrow.
But,
But,
what do you mean by that? If you can throw what's
the results will show.
So if tomorrow the results comes out and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is number one,
It doesn't
for
make
you
him.
it confirms that he's an
It doesn't
establishment.
make him the flag bearer.
Yes, we know that.
It will not make him the flag
But
bearer.
we
That's
know
what we
that.
are not afraid.
We know that.
Yeah.
We know that. But I'm just talking about, I just brought the issue about disagreeing with something that your party's done or the government has done. And you say there's nothing wrong with that. As far as you're concerned, it is part of the democracy. Express your opinion, whether publicly or privately.
Exactly, and sometimes it even strengthens the base. That
Okay.
you are doing something wrong, we have to fix it. So if nobody's telling us
So
what we are doing
Miracle Abuaji's concerns are not
wrong,
grounded.
not at all. No, I don't agree with him.
I see.
I don't agree with him at all.
Okay.
But if we're to go on the points raised by Dennis here, that persons who are talking about the party in ways that he calls, like dragging or muddying things in public, then your candidates will be top of that list.
That is,
Your candidate will be top of that because he's frank, brutal. I mean, he ran the entire his entire campaign on the record of the vice president, and he came back and walked back. Why did he have to do that?
listen, my candidate
Yes.
says it like it is. When my candidate comes out to tell the whole world what he has done for the party and what he continues to do, everybody has a problem with that. That is, he has to sell his message that he has also helped. He has served the party, and he also wants to be the leader of the party.
Okay.
What is wrong with that?
All right.
What is
You
it
don't
about-
think it destroys
No, it
the
doesn't destroy
party
anything.
publicly?
It makes people know who he is and what he's
No,
capable
but I'm
of
interested
doing.
in why your candidate walked back, because he said something about inheriting the dollar at 4, it's 12 cities, it hurts his business, and then it fits squarely on the head of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Then he comes back to say it's not him.
I mean,
But
he
he
said
came back to walk back, and in fact, I don't think a toddler, a baby, for
He says
somebody
he
who claims to
says he
be
was referring
honest.
to, no, he says he was
honest.
referring to a deputy minister. Let's
Yes,
take it aside. That's what he said. He said it's a
Don't
deputy
Kuma-
minister. He's not referring to the vice president. So I think that's on record.
Okay, thanks for the correction. So,
Yeah.
But,
is that political correction?
but it defeats your PhD that he is honest and disciplined. Somebody who cannot stand by his own. Why did he not come out to say, I meant Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia because
Why does
he's
it have to be
terrible as
Dr. Mahmoud
manager?
Bawumia? Why does it have to be Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia?
Because he did it.
He came out to say he didn't mean Dr. Mahmoud. Why are you forcing him?
Was John Kuma running this economy?
But that is why he's talking about John Kuma.
I thought your candidate was
Are you
honest.
voting? Are you voting to vote?
I thought your candidate was honest.
And he is
so
honest.
He walked back.
Right.
And he is honest.
So let's come back to this.
So
I've seen him
it
being
was
an honest person.
the vice president and not.
He didn't say that.
All right. Sly, please go ahead.
I think he feels like his integrity is
Let me say that this issue about if you talk about the happenings,
Right.
you talk about an aspirant, it is akin to destroying the party. We must be
Hurting the image
careful.
of the party.
You must be careful. Certainly, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia had put himself for a contest,
Right.
and he can never escape the microscope of scrutiny
Right.
for his leadership. So nobody should interpret that to mean that you are destroying the party.
But if you
What
see,
I've said-
the
please,
challenge-
please,
just a
please,
second, Sly.
please,
If you
please.
scrutinize the vice president, aren't you scrutinizing the administration? Because he and the
But
the
who,
president.
who says that we in the NPP, whatever, me, Sylvester, I won't be scared for anything. I still stand by whatever I say.
Yes.
And
Because I've heard people say, if you criticize the vice president or you scrutinize the vice, you're
but
scrutinizing
the government itself, to the extent that 137 members of parliament has called on the president to sack the finance minister.
And he hasn't done it.
So what are you talking about? You think...
Was that not disgracing the party?
What is the disgrace about
Right.
that? The finance minister is just an individual of the entire governance architecture. So if you identify one person in the entire governance architecture and you call him out, it means you are bringing down the entire government. Then there's nothing like a party. If you can't speak your mind objectively, then I don't know what it is to be in a political party. That anything you say, as we speak now, people have been allocated rooms in Accra City Hotel. And those that have been allocated the rooms, they call us, they tell us they're giving us rooms here to go and sleep. We have friends, we have relatives in there. And you are a media man, go and find out those sleeping in Accra City Hotel tonight. And not only this place, in other parts of the country. And you said, when you talk about these things, you are running them.
But what's happening there, Accra City Hotel?
Delegates
who are going to vote tomorrow have been given room, Greater Accra delegates.
What's wrong with that?
being paid for by the
what is wrong with that?
Yes.
Oh, you don't see anything wrong with that?
You don't see anything wrong with that. That is fine. That is fine.
It's
So
a
for me,
question. It's a question.
I'm just asking.
It's a fair question.
No, once you mention it, it means that
the
you have
party's
concerns
code of
about
conduct for this election have clearly said nobody should camp anybody.
Right.
If you live in Greater Accra, you are going to vote tomorrow. Yeah. When was the last time they offered anybody a room in Accra City Hotel? After tomorrow, November 4th, 208,000 people will be going to vote. Are you going to offer everybody accommodation? My constituents will be waiting for a hotel room November 4th.
1,000. What's the biggest?
But this is what destroys our party. It destroys the party. And the one that speaks about it, you've seen as a bad person.
Exactly.
Then I don't know where we're going.
Miracles,
Because the party has given clear rules and regulations. And today, you see, I'm very careful. Because those who think, Miracles just said that he read that President Kufuor, he was giving justification that Ghana Web reportage, that sources, they never mentioned the source. And you could indict President Kufuor for dismissing his appointees on the basis of the fact that they were not supporting Alan Chamante. And you are not destroying the party. Exactly. The legacy of President Kufuor that took us to the election that you are a beneficiary today. You could run it down and today to say to indict President Kufuor on the basis of a source. Okay. Here we are. The same daily Ghana Web. Yeah. The same Ghana Web. Here we are today, not far. Honorable Boache Jaco, he said that Vice President is an establishment candidate reported by Ghana Web. I never mentioned it, but you went as far back 2008, indicting President Kufuor that the president's decision to dismiss his appointee is linked to a person not supporting, and between me and you, who is destroying the party?
Yeah, let me say just a quick one.
I think my question will probably end it.
Just give me a minute.
Right.
You know, when we are having conversations like this and it gets really heated for you, you begin to run around and choose. And when I'm speaking, Dennis, I in particular, when I'm speaking, I choose my words very, very carefully.
You misquoted me on many occasions, and you were listening. You asked me to put them.
I was bent, and you were speaking. Please, that is why I am one of the few people that can fact check Ghana. Because I don't just speak. No, I actually do. I've done that twice, and even tomorrow I'll do another one. Let me tell you something. When I spoke, I said, you asked the question, who an establishment candidate is? And I said, it's speculative. We don't have the definition. And that in 2007, these are some of the reasons why people were speculating. Remember, I used the word speculating. Yes. So stop the spin. I live with President Kufuor on the mountains. You haven't seen him in years. Let me move into the substantive matter. You see,
but Miracle, we actually have a question for you.
No, before you come to your questions, but they were responding to their Bridget, why?
Okay, just to
you're responding or making your point.
The numerous MPs and ministers, the party chairman, the constituency chairman, and all of that who are supporting Dr. Mahmoud Bamia. You are saying that they are supporting them because they don't have a mind of their own.
Please.
Don't
let this go on this show. And
you can fix it. You correct it.
I won't be glad if you correct it. I won't even allow it. Please.
Okay, good. Please. I am glad.
This is about the third time you are making the same statement.
The tapes are there. When I finish, I'll pick the tapes.
Please.
I'll pick the tapes. In fact, I'll take.
You don't need to finish it after this.
Okay, so please set the record straight.
I never said so. I've said that in this contest, there are degrees of influence within our party and within the governance architecture. The president had said he's not supporting anybody, and he's not called anybody not to support anybody. But the president at the same forum said that it may be somebody in his office that he's not aware. That is where I brought in the level of influence and degree.
Other people, yes.
Can I
please,
speak now?
please, so don't say that I've
Can
said
I speak
those.
now? I will say it. Let me tell you something. Me,
Please.
when I'm quiet, I'm listening. You asked him. You asked Honorable Sly Tete. Why he? As for him, there, he's not being influenced. He said he's fearless. In fact, the word's fear. Oh, can I? Would you just? Oh, should I let you speak?
Okay.
When you are asked why you think others are succumbing to threats and you are not succumbing, and you say because you are fearless, what does it mean? Are you not implying the others are fearful?
Okay.
What are you talking about? Me, I listen. I listen.
You can stand.
Can I? Oh.
I think we can move on.
When we finish,
in 5 minutes.
Yeah, so you should stop that.
I have one question.
The viewers have heard
No,
you.
you are not being fair to you.
Dennis, we
Is it because I'm not an MP? I am speaking, he interjects me, and then when he made a point about before, I kept quiet.
Yeah.
He finished before I explained myself.
Okay.
He should relax. That thing there, he said it. It's on video. So he should calm down. Let me move on. Let me respond to that. These are serious matters. I am saying that let's put a finality to this establishment matter. If around the table, what I have heard is my understanding of establishment, which is the fact that a lot of appointees,
No, that's not-
a lot
that's
of
not
whatever.
it.
I said my understanding.
Yeah, okay,
I'm following
okay.
Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
Okay.
Our job is to go out there and fish for numbers.
Okay.
It includes anybody, including the president.
Right.
Tomorrow, the president.
Establishment is simply somebody to
The
continue the legacy of.
the president will vote, and we are asking him that, Mr. President, respectfully, we want your one vote, and we want the vote of all your ministers and all your appointees, including the board chairman, like Honorable Sly Tete.
Okay, so I think you've done your responding.
Why are you so uncomfortable?
No, because I have a question. I have a question about your candidates.
I didn't finish.
That why is it that if Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has done so well, why is he spending so much money on just a super delegate?
Where you are making an emphatic statement.
Yes, I will. Let me start. For instance, the vehicles he imported.
Which vehicles? Bawumia has not imported any vehicle. Have you seen any document that indicates that? Have you seen any manifest, any document that indicates that Dr. Mahmoud? It is a lie. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's campaign has already come out to explain. He has not imported any vehicle. It's false.
But what I have asked you, even the source of the campaign, and you
I am star 202 hash.
Even able to no, that was recently launched. I asked you before. I asked you before this was launched. And you said you
cannot import your views.
You couldn't tell us.
You cannot import your views.
Have I not asked
Let
you
me
that
state
question?
the facts.
Have I not asked you that question?
Let me state the facts.
Have I
Which
not asked you
question?
that question?
Which question?
About the source of the funding
Let me
for Dr.
correct your
Bawumia.
falsehood. I am telling you that it is false. A complete lie that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has imported any vehicle. That's a lie. And establish that because you haven't seen any invoice, any document that establishes the fact that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has imported any car. And we will not allow you or any other person to impose their views on any of these. So it's a lie. Establish that. Number two, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has not spent any extraordinary money than should be spent in running this campaign. Wow. And you have no evidence, complete no evidence to say anything other than speculate and join the speculative bandwagon. Your job is not to join the speculation. Your job is to verify, validate these speculations. Once you have substance to it.
It's based on that.
Where is the substance? Tell me. Based on what?
Absolutely.
Based on what? Based on what?
I have seen it.
Seen what? Seen what?
Oh, my producers has confirmed that there are people at the hotel.
But those people are camped by who?
By your camp. By your camp.
How do you establish that it was by the camp? You see, there are 10 people running. You see the problem?
Okay.
The problem with the point you are making is that there are 10 people running a contest. You have seen people, you claim you have seen people in a hotel, and you assume that those people are in the hotel camped by one candidate. When you have no evidence.
Why would they lie against your candidate?
But are you not here lying? Are you not here lying that the candidate imported vehicles? Why did you put out that lie?
It is not a lie.
Now, where is your evidence? Where is your evidence?
So you are not
where is your evidence? You put out a lie that Dr. Bawumia imported.
It is not a lie.
When you have no evidence.
Even the blind person has seen that Dr. Bawumia has brought vehicles into the country. What are you saying?
If you have been able to put out that lie.
I came here to promote.
The only person who has a record of lying is your candidate. What are you saying?
I think you lie more than him actually.
What are you saying?
I think you lie more than him actually, and you just put out a lie on this show today. Let me put that aside. The fact of the matter remains.
I'm not standing for president. It's him.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
Record.
The fact that you are not standing for president means you continue to lie.
So, Mr. Minister, I have a message from
me.
No.
She was interjecting.
No. I have a message. There's actually a text message.
I'll finish.
I'll come back to you. Don't worry. I'll come back to you.
Thank you.
I have a message from Madam Frances. CM to Mr. Sylvester Tete, and I'm happy here so that he can respond. She says, "Hi, Moro. This is Obatampa Francis Rabna CM. Tell Sly to stop speculating and lying. He should go and video all the delegates who are camped. The panelists are on course. Miracles focus on selling Baumia, BMW, DMP. Forever Baumia, and leave those who are now cruising through the book of political lamentation. Sly is lying. Mr. President never added on after exposing him and his lies. Sly, you have declared for Alan, so sell him or Tom. Any
why are you going to influence for what was my
no, because it's direct. It's direct. I'll come back.
She was not in the meeting.
Yes,
she wasn't in the meeting.
Yes.
And the president did not
add anything.
He did. The president said, he asked me, have I called you not to support a candidate of your choice? I said, no. And he went on and he said that perhaps it could be coming from his office or any of his appointees. And she was not in the meetings. How do you come and send this text message that I'm lying? What is she talking about?
Miracles, please land. Please land. Because what time is it?
Yes. Go ahead.
I think you've been talking for too long.
No, because I'm the only one who interjects.
Maybe your message. And you are just arguing. Maybe you don't have a message. I just tell my candidate. Let me tell you.
Please go ahead in 2 minutes, Miracles. I beg you.
All right.
No, 4 against 1.
No, it's not 4 against.
Please go ahead, Aaron. Please go ahead.
I am telling you that Dr. Mahmoud Baumia has done his job.
Right.
His job as a candidate is to mobilize the numbers. He's found creative ways to mobilize the numbers around him.
Okay.
Indeed.
You remember, Bridget, when your darling JDM's election was going to happen. you remember the issues around the Dufour camp the night before. That is when they started withdrawing and making all sort of accusations. Anytime somebody is going to an electoral contest with you and they start making arguments like this, there are 9 candidates too, and yet even if you see somebody chewing yogurt, you don't suspect any of the 9. You suspect Dr. Mahmoud Baumia. There are 9 candidates. You see somebody sleeping.
Why do you deny that?
Because
relax. Why do you deny that? Being a vice president, he has resources available. Is he not using?
But if he hasn't done that, what should he say?
Everything you're saying.
Oh, Bridget. And he hasn't done that. He hasn't done that. So why should he accept the fact that I have resources?
It's not using
Listen, Bridget, let me speak.
Like, how do you lie with a straight face? I honestly,
Bridget,
how do you lie?
Here around this table, the person who is lying is you.
It's not using.
Here around this table, the person who is passionately lying against the vice president is you.
But relax. So saying that the vice president is using state resources is a lie.
It's a lie.
How can you?
It's a lie. Because you can't just say, Bridget, you are a journalist. You cannot sit on a national TV and accuse the vice president of using state resources to run a campaign when you have no evidence. Is that what journalism taught you? Where did you learn that? And you are rather telling me that I am telling you that you have no evidence to prove that the vice president of the Republic of Ghana has camped somebody. You have no evidence to prove that the vice president of the Republic of Ghana has imported cars. You have no evidence to prove that the vice president of Ghana has used state resources. You are saying that the person who is denying your allegation is lying. Who should prove this? What did we learn in the school of journalism?
What are you saying?
Thank you.
Please, this is not the place to do your propaganda. You haven't done anything. Just talking doesn't make anything true.
Mr. Eugene for it.
Okay, so
remarks.
I need to have my last bite.
Please.
I came here. If you have last bite before, I'll get my last bite.
Please allow me, sir, please. Yeah, I came here to sell my candidate.
Right.
All that this argument, it doesn't help. I want to know what Dr. Baumia's message is.
There are 9 candidates. Ask the other 9.
Okay, all right. No, I'm here with you, and you are arguing. You are just arguing. You are just arguing. My candidate has a vision, and that's why people are calling on him to come and lead this country. He has a vision of a PhD, and if you have to go into details of what that PhD means, be patriotic, be honest, and my friend here, my brother here is not being honest.
I know, right?
He's not being honest at all. And discipline. My brother, you're not being disciplined. Calling a journalist a liar on the national
You
TV.
had the
You're
journalist call your vice president a liar. Eugene, which party really do you belong to? You had the journalist call your vice president a
It
liar.
doesn't mean you should be ashamed. It doesn't mean you should be ashamed.
You know, Dr. Baumia's record, Dr. Baumia is known as an international liar.
Can you
So
imagine?
when they go anywhere, they tell other people they are lying to hide their lies.
Because you allow you to work with that.
My brother, stop pointing
May
and be
God forgive
disciplined. Be disciplined.
All right, then.
I mean, the last point.
We have one out of Unfortunately, we will continue tomorrow. But thank you very much for coming to our studio and in trying to sell the vice president. Tomorrow the delegates would speak, but what Sly is saying, it would not be the decision that we would work with in November 4th. So Sly, thank you very much. And also Kennedy Japan Miracle, yes. Relax yourself. Tomorrow. And also Eugene, thank you very much. Eugene, also thank you very much for coming to our studios as well and speak. I mean, there's no denying that it's the vice president who is on the chopping board, and it is his record that each of the candidates are going against. So it's not the vice president. So why Dr. Baumia auditioned liars to lead him? Looks like you are a good representation. What are you saying? No. It's
Metro TV, insightful and inspiring moments.
The governing New Patriotic Party will this Saturday make a bold step towards achieving the ambitious agenda of breaking the 10 bigwigs of the party vying for the flag bearer spot will battle it out in the Super Delegates Conference to whittle the number down to 5 ahead of the presidential primaries in November this year. Trust Metro TV to bring an extensive coverage from 7 a.m. on August 26, 2023 until the last ballot is counted. Join us and our array of experts with thorough analysis here in the studio, on the ground and online on your election central on Metro TV.
The Bible is not a textbook like chemistry textbook. It's a spirit. There are no controversies. Righteousness is defined by God. What he says you are is what you are. There's no teaching in the scriptures that will be left untaught.
Join the Good Life Devotion with Dr. David Binden on this channel to receive biblically authoritative teachers which will usher you into exhibiting the divine life here on earth. The Good Life Devotion shows every Monday to Friday from 11 to 11:30 p.m. Don't miss the special weekend edition on Saturdays and